Wake up, it's the Tim Stevenson Show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Tim Stevenson Show podcast. My guest today is a model. She's an actress. She's a singer. She's also a producer, and she's also doing music video editing and all kinds of crazy things. We're going to have a great conversation with the lovely and beautiful Miss Stephanie Murone. So welcome to the show, Stephanie Murone. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. And I know my Aussie accent sucks because we went through that one time where I was trying to say a few words with the Australian accent and I failed miserably. But
Everyone failed.
That was then. So tell me what you've been doing. What's going on with you? I guess the last time I ran into you, it was modeling, it was editing, it was music, it was a lot of things. Have you been doing the modeling thing at all? Or in this climate especially? I mean, you tell me, how is it?
The year started off so strong. I had already done like 2 magazine covers by February. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be like, it's starting off really good. Right. I'm like really excited. And then obviously March happens and coronavirus and everything just stopped. Especially the modeling world, because, a lot of the companies get their samples and everything from China, so all that closed down. So there were no samples coming in to actually shoot products. Agencies closed down, so a lot of the models are trying to do like shoots from home. Like you can send the product and we'll do the shoot and send it, but it's just been crazy.
Right.
Like I've also been working on the other side of things, bringing models to castings for jobs that I'm actually shooting video for, and dealing with agencies, and the models that would come would be like, oh my god, this is our first casting in 3 months, and they were all excited. I think everyone's just been out of work
now. Since it's kind of lightened up, are there still castings you can go to with restrictions, I guess, or are you doing it like this, like via Zoom, online?
The last few I did, you wear your mask to the casting, you stay 6 feet away from the other models, and you take it off just for your picture. Hand sanitizer everywhere, and then
That's got to be odd for any model to have to cover their face at an audition right before you take a picture.
Yeah, people
you
come
don't
in
have time to fix yourself, right?
No, it's literally insane.
Man, now do you think that because everyone's online now, you don't think that maybe promotions would be more because everyone's watching their television? So wouldn't they need, I guess it would depend. Like some people send like a photographer to your house to do a shoot, because I know some models here in Miami were doing that, where like a photographer and a wardrobe person would show up and that was it, right? Masked up, they do the thing, they shoot the whatever, and they either broadcast it online or whatever they're using it for. I mean, I don't know how it is in LA. Are they doing, are they trying to move with the times and figure out how to still use models and still do promotions?
Yeah, I definitely did a shoot here in the apartment. It was actually for masks.
Okay.
And originally they wanted me to go to the studio, and I said, honestly, no. At that point, it was like the climax of like the corona before the second big climax came. And so I'm fortunate enough, I have like lighting and everything, cameras and stuff. So I did the whole shoot here and stuff, and I can edit Photoshop as well. So I edited Photoshop some pictures and
there you go.
To the client. They were really happy. Yeah.
How are the streets of Hollywood right now? I mean, the last time I was there for like a half a second through coronavirus, and it was empty. It was weird to see Hollywood and Highland with no people. I mean, there were a few people, but no cosplayers, no any of that stuff going on. Has it gotten busier now that we're sort of opening up? And did everybody just go back to normal?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a period on the boulevard, because I live in Hollywood, that it was ghost town. You could walk the streets, no one was around. It was actually a little like freaky. It just felt weird. Yeah, because this street's always so crazy, busy, people screaming, cars, everything. It just went completely dead for at least 2 months, I felt like. But now it's picked up. There's like tourists again. There's people. The gym. People's going back to the gym. They just kind of feels like back to normal.
Again. Yeah, the gym's a hard place. I don't understand how you do that at the gym. I mean, if you spread stuff apart, you're still fairly close, and you're sweating the whole time, and then you're on touching everything. So,
well, I'm lazy and I don't like to work out, but I have a big shoot next week, and throughout quarantine, I was eating a lot. So today I was like, you know what? Let's just go and do a little workout. So I went. You have to wear gloves, a mask the whole time, and every second machine they say is out of service. So you can only, you have to be far. It's hard also working out with a mask because you can't breathe properly.
Yeah, how do you? I mean, you have the ones with the little oxygen things on them.
Yeah.
I don't know how all those work if you're actually working out. You know what I mean? Like I guess it works a little bit, but dang, that's crazy. So, how long have you been in the States now?
8 years.
8 years. Dang. Anything changed since from the first day to now?
Oh, of course. You mean
struggle
LA itself or my life or in terms of what?
Well, I guess from expectations to where you're at now, how do you feel?
Oh,
a whole range of emotions. You're like pop, 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 pop. All this stuff happens.
So many. Every year was different.
Right.
I guess also like when I moved here, I was a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to expect. I was a lot more naive.
Right.
Reality kicks my butt right away.
Yeah.
Those first few years were definitely learning for me. You kind of become, well, living in Australia and you think of LA and Hollywood, you think, oh my God, celebrities, Hollywood movies, music, blah, 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 blah. And then you move here and, you have rent and bills and you have to do this and it's just to survive because it's expensive to live here. So, I was fortunate enough to get a working visa, but you're only allowed to work in that specific field. So you're hustling every day, trying to, go to your castings and thank God for Instagram. It helps you, get more jobs and make yourself out more. That's helped me a lot. I think I book more jobs through Instagram than agencies.
That's kind of the thing now. That's kind of the norm to get your jobs on Instagram or social media, right? Because that's where everybody's at in major companies now. So, I mean, my stepdaughter did shoots for H&M, Abercrombie, Hollister, Rue 21, Zoomies, all from Instagram.
All from Instagram.
I mean, she has a modeling agency, but Instagram is because she's on there doing her thing and around the right circle of people who are also doing their thing. Then that's what's paying the bills. It's like it is the crazy.
The agencies out here have been a little disappointing. I feel like they work a lot harder for you in Australia. Here, it's more you have to be on them every day. And one interview when I went to try out for one years ago, they're like, "What's your Instagram following?" Oh, great! You got a huge following. And at the time, I think it was only like 10,000 or whatever.
Right.
We'll accept you. It's just purely based on Instagram. I was like, you don't want to see my book or anything else? Because now it's just like how many people you can reach, how many likes you get, how much products you can sell, purely based on your Instagram.
It's all marketing because if you have the traffic, they want to pay you for your traffic, right? So if you got 500,000 followers, get a nice little paycheck. Just say, hey, what's up? Blah 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 to this artist, whatever brand it is, and that's kind of it. That's kind of like the thing. But it's a crazy work because now it's everything in there, and now like the TikTok thing. I'm not sure how that works. I get it, but I don't necessarily know. But big company.
The other day. You're on TikTok.
I am. I know.
I saw your little dance. Good job.
Which one was it? There's a couple that I just like. Let me do this TikTok. There's one where I did a duet. One where I was doing with Twitch, and another one. The two. There's one little kid that I got now that her following is massive, 6 million on TikTok. Mackenzie Brooke, like it's big. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And I see them because they're right here, so I see them like every month. And I'm like, she's just huge on TikTok. But I did a couple little like old Moat things, I had to bring it back.
I know I brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah, right. But I feel like the dad. I feel like the hip dad, I guess, because there's like a bunch of dads and moms on there now, and I'm like, look, I may not look like that. But like I go, I'm the same age as that dude, and he's over there doing the hokey doke.
Oh, you look great.
Thing. And the better you are, the worse likes you get. You know.
Because now it's like you get stuck on TikTok. Like I've never done a TikTok, but I like to scroll through it on a daily, right. And it's very entertaining. Like, an hour later, I'm like, oh my god, I have to get off it. It's crazy.
There are some good ones on TikTok. People getting creative on TikTok now.
But
now the companies are doing on TikTok what they were doing on Instagram, following the traffic. So if you have traffic, they're paying these TikTok kids. Still not as much as Instagram, I think, or even YouTubers, but they're getting there. They're getting there fast because YouTubers still make a lot of money, but now the YouTubers are influencers on Instagram and on TikTok, so it's all kind of combined in one anyway. But that's what's up.
I'm like, I'm not with it either. I'm like Instagram.
Trust me, I'm like, I have a shirt. I should have wore it. I got a shirt that says, "Don't worry, bro, I speak TikTok," right? And I wore it to a grocery store, and this little kid walks up and he's reading it, and he goes, "I speak TikTok." I was like, so I didn't even say anything. I went like this, and he was like,
and he
because that's TikTok. That's what they.
Well, there's babies on TikTok, like these.
Oh, yeah.
Like parents have their little like. I love it. I mean,
yeah.
I want to do one eventually. I just haven't.
It's a weird thing to try to conform to. You're just like, oh, so I'm really going to get on this TikTok train, or am I going to do what I do? You know, I guess you can kind of do a little bit of both. Like I did it, but like it'll be like a week or two before I do anything on TikTok.
Yeah.
But, you know, a couple things I wanted to ask, because I remember we had one time spoke about you're doing some acting stuff, and I don't know. I was asking them, just wondering if you're still in the acting space or. You know, how's that working? I know right now nobody's shooting, but in general, prior to COVID, were you doing any acting bits, any roles in films, or you're on that acting grind? You know, how's that?
I actually just had to hand in a self-tape yesterday for a film that was supposed to be shooting now, but they've had to extend it to the fall or going on. It's for actually a lead in this film, so I'm hoping to get it. It's kind of like a sci-fi.
Nice.
Prior to COVID, I did a little horror film where I had a little acting role in that.
Did you have to scream? Like, were you the screamer one? Like the girl who had to go?
I was a rubber, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Got to steal some money and got killed along the way.
Wait, you're telling me you have a mean face? You have a mean face?
Apparently, I'm good at fake dying.
You're good at fake.
He's dead. Apparently, I do a very good job at that. So, I'm a really big one of these.
You're like, yes, I can die on screen.
I can die.
They all make money. They all make money. Dang. Okay, so then now, of course, that whole side of the industry is crazy because, I have friends at Warner Brothers and some friends at Universal, and I'm actually still trying to pitch a few things now. And it's crazy that the meetings all look like this, right? Except there's more people. People are still trying to ramp up because they're trying to figure out how they're going to get their movie shot and whatever with all these protocols in place. But, like Tom Cruise just like built a compound and you just have to stay on the compound. So you're basically quarantined while you're working.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if every studio's going to kind of get like that where like, okay, we're going to shoot this thing for a month. So you got to come in, you got to stay here. You're basically in quarantine while you're working. My question was, what happens when you leave? Do you got to quarantine 14 days wherever you go next?
Right.
Or are you done with your quarantine because it's been 30 days and you've had kind of 2 weeks and then 2 weeks again? If, you know what I mean? I don't know. People are still flying and American Airlines, they don't even put space in between. It's a full flight.
Yeah, I read something today. Like, apparently they're just packing their flights up. They don't even
packing them up. They're like, we wipe stuff down in between flights. They do that. You have to wear a mask, but you're still next to everybody, So I don't know how that's going to work. JetBlue, they leave like the middle seat empty, But
well, these companies are going broke,
They have to do something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about music? I mean, are you still doing music? I mean, you're like the white Moat, right? You're like the master of all. You're like the master of all.
you're like, I sing, I dance, I act. I'm the triple
and I
threat.
engineer and I edit and I do this and I do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
so is that still part of it? So let's say you are, editing a film, or you're doing a documentary, or you're doing something. Do you use your own music? Or are you just creating music to create music? Tell me what
I
you.
haven't actually used any of my music for anything I've edited yet, because what I've been editing has been mainly things for companies, shoe companies, clothing brands, lingerie brands. So I use my music. I haven't really gone with that kind of a vibe that I've been editing yet, but I do want to start editing this short film that I shot the other day, and I might use my music for that. So
There
actually,
you go. You gotta do that. You gotta introduce your music to everybody.
Yeah, actually, I just in terms of recording and stuff, I have, but it hasn't, like, when I first moved here, it was music.
Right.
Music. And along the way, like you said, reality kind of hits when you move to LA and you meet some crappy people. You meet good people too, but generally, being a female in this industry is very difficult because it's masculine dominated. And so I've been lucky, and I still like record a track here and there. I still want to like shoot a video to it. I'll release it, but my wanting to like do albums and I don't have like a wanting for that anymore.
Got it.
My motivation, inspiration has gone more to acting and shooting. I love being behind the camera too. Nice. And modeling. I'm still blessed enough to still be able to model. So yeah, as much as I love music, I think my journey was just so much like this. And then I got to a certain age. I got to a certain and I just was like, oh my God, I'm just so tired of it, feeling like I'm nearly there and then starting again from scratch and nearly there. And I mean, I did it for so long, and I just got to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe just have a little break from that for right now. Try a different lane, because I've kind of been doing all areas of the industry, but maybe focus more on acting or dance, I used to dance too. So yeah, but no, I definitely have been doing like a little feature here and there as well. Some artists, be like,
nice.
I like lay down some vocals for them. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you had a celebrity encounter that like was like a wow moment? Like if you ever like walked into a room or walked into an audition and was like, oh, that's so and so. Have you had a moment like that?
Beyonce.
Really?
She's my ultimate. She was someone I always wanted to meet, and I was at this event, and she walked in with Jay-Z, and me, I'm shy, and I really don't approach anyone, but I was starstruck, and I think I had a few drinks that night too, so I was a little more happy, and I just went up to her, and I was like,
Queen Bee, right?
I was like,
that's funny.
I just have to tell you, you are so beautiful and talented. And she was so nice back. She was like, thank you so much. And then Jay-Z kind of grabs her, pulls her away. But she was
like, you ain't working right now. Yeah.
That's all I needed. It was like, out of everyone I've met, that was my number one favorite celebrity encounter.
Now tell us about, don't name a name, an encounter that you did not like. You could tell the story without naming the person.
Had a few.
I think I know a couple, but
yeah, I think you know.
We're gonna hear your version. Yeah.
I was in the
studio.
Right. Yeah, in the studio. I'm trying to think if that wasn't the
private party at what's that place called? What's that celebrity bar that everyone used to go to? I forget what it was called. I think you told me a story about somebody. I think you told me a story about a celebrity that was very handsy that day at an event you were at, but you were maybe working, like VIP room tables, that kind of thing. Oh, thinking the mind is swirling. It's swirling. You don't have to do that one. I just bringing one up.
Well, there was one definitely where I find that the entourages of the celebrity are worse than the actual celebrity.
I agree. Yeah.
So I was in the studio with this particular celebrity. He's really big, and I was really excited to be in the studio. And I was also friends with his producer at the time, and I was sitting in the studio while the celebrity was recording. I'm just sitting there and thinking, oh my God, like I'm gonna get to record music with this person, and you know, and my first year out here too. And then all of a sudden, the producer friend of mine sends me a message, and he's like, "You need to leave now." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're just gonna let them talk shit on you like that?" And I said, "I can't even hear what they're saying to me." He goes, "You just gotta leave before I get in a fight." So I just randomly just stand up. I'm like, "Bye," and I just leave. And I was like, I felt horrible because I'm like, what was said about me? And then I guess because I had met this celebrity and his entourage before, and I actually become friends with this celebrity. And he messaged me after, and he was just like, "I want to give you all props." He goes, "They were talking shit on you because you didn't sleep with any of them. And so therefore, because you didn't sleep with them, they kicked you out of the studio." I was like, you know what? I'm like, I would rather be kicked out of a studio for that than being known as the opposite, you know?
That's
and it was his entourage. I don't even know if he knew what was going on, but his
probably didn't.
Yeah, and it was really an uncomfortable moment for me. That was one. I know I've had so many, but I just, you know, when you put on the spot, you can't think. But that was definitely one that really stuck out to me because I felt horrible after, but then I kind of felt, okay, well, I'm fine.
Well, it just kind of, and it taints your idea of what Hollywood is, right? It's, you know, there's a lot of Weinstein types in that pool of entertainment. If not, or worse, sometimes, like you said, the entourage is usually worse.
I had an acting coach try to come on to me once. That was one of the most uncomfortable moments of my life. I didn't like that at all. It was, and it was someone I trusted too that I'd been, you know, seeing for over a year, and never ever spoke to him again.
It's typical, like the movie Honey. You know, all of a sudden, the manager who's been doing so much for you, all of a sudden is trying to cash in, like, for doing that for you, even though it helped himself in the process. You're like, what? Like where'd that come from? You know what I mean? Out of left field, you're like, damn.
Yeah, and it was just good that I was a little more mature and had experienced a lot by that point. But I can imagine, like, so many younger girls in that situation freeze up and just let it happen because they're afraid, and then never tell anyone because I believe, you know, it's kind of their fault. But no,
i.e. Weinstein. I mean, there was a lot in that camp. Did the same exact thing. Like, I'm worried because that person can also kill your career, you know. But they're all getting outed, you know, and they've been getting outed in the last 5 years. For all that crap, you know, because people got to be like, whoa, I can't, especially in a climate where everybody's so sensitive about stuff like that in general, that just the accusation alone is like a killer, because even if it's not true, people are going to assume it is because people are getting outed so much. You know what I mean? And it happens all the time. And there's multiple people, celebrities included, that are shaking in their boots because they're wondering who's going to come out of the woodwork and go, you remember in 2002 when you attacked me on the tour bus? We're going to talk about that now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, damn, their past is coming back to haunt you. You're like, even if sometimes it's not even predatorial, some people are just playing the cat and mouse game, and then somebody wants to cash in on the cat and mouse game now because you can. Even though back then the cat and mouse game was part of the courtship. It was like, hey, I'm going to say no, but it's the way you say it and whatever, right? And then now all of a sudden, like, oh, you're a predator. You're like, hey, easy. Like, how do you know this girl wasn't just whoring her way around the Los Angeles? There's a lot of those too. So you got to remember the two sides.
100%.
You know what I mean? And it's hard because it sounds insensitive when you flip it, but you're like, but
no, there's definitely
like that.
Out there
I knew
like
girls
that.
you say, I'm only going to marry Jewish, Scientologist or whatever because it'll help my acting career. Right? You're like,
that's rich that can support my career. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
happens
just
all the time. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, so do you think? Because when you first got to America and California, like being an Australian girl model in the States, do you feel like it's still as powerful as it was then? Because I knew back then that girls who were from Australia or certain other countries like really were looked after because it was like a sexy thing to have. Like, oh, it's an Australian girl, you know, she got an accent and this, that, and the other. Does that still play? Because, for instance, a mutual friend of ours, Harvey, right? His accent his accent still works in his business because when he's on the phone, he can almost say stuff that I couldn't say and get away with it because of his accent.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely when I first moved here.
Yeah.
I also feel like there wasn't as many Australians when I first moved here. Like,
Probably
I
true.
mean, I feel like we're everywhere, so it's not as wow, you're Australian, because I feel like every
Right.
second person someone meets is Australian,
Right.
but they still do love the accent.
Yeah.
Still, I think the minute someone finds out I'm Australian and not American, they look at me differently straight away.
Right.
Because Australians do have a good reputation. We're generally nice people, down to
Absolutely.
earth. We're not fake, so you see people's eyes light up like, oh, you're from Australia. And then they know then they can talk to me or whatever. I'm more chill where, American girls, I love American girls, but they seem to have a different reputation. Not all
Right.
of them, but especially LA, from
Oh,
LA.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
in Sydney 2 summers ago, right? 2 summers ago now. So it was 2018. And for like the first day, all the kids at the Performing Arts Center were like, oh my God, we love your American accent. I was like, wait, I have an accent? Right? But in Australia, I'm the one with the accent, right? And I knew that from being in Melbourne, but like still, I was like, oh, wait, I have an accent? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Americans think that they don't have an accent.
I know, isn't that weird? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, of course you have an accent. I mean, you don't think you do because you live here and everyone sounds like you, but to us, you have an accent. To Europeans, you have an accent. Asians, you have an accent.
Right. Sydney was fun though. I had never been to Sydney. I'd only been.
Like a king.
Huh?
I mean, Australians love Americans.
Yeah.
You would have been treated like royalty. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was super nice. It was crazy. Like you just go into the store, I'd be like, oh, I want this, and they're like, oh my God.
You would have thought you were a celebrity.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so like, they're like looking, and they're like, he's from America. Yeah. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
because when a celebrity comes to Australia, or when I was living there, say like a Chris Brown was coming to perform or was coming to host a nightclub, you knew about it for like 2 months prior, and everyone was excited. That was like the biggest thing that was going to happen.
Right.
And then I moved here, and I would just go out, and he would be there, or other celebrities would be there, and I'm like, wow, like this. I was very starstruck my first year, because I'm like, I'm just leaving my house, and I'm going around the corner, and he's there, and other people are there, and it becomes just the normal.
It's normal. And even in the States it's like that, because people who aren't from LA or even like Miami don't get it until they get there. And they're like, look, just every day I can go up and down Sunset or Doheny or one of these streets and see a celebrity. That's just how we grew up. So for us, it was normal to be like, oh yeah, of course, there's Paris Hilton. Oh, there's Jay Leno. Oh, there's so it's like again, going up the street again.
I was at Target, and I was in the elevator, and Mark Wahlberg walks in with his 2 kids. I'm just standing in there opposite him. It's still Mark Wahlberg. You're like,
yeah, well, you're like, oh, what's up,
yeah,
Mark?
but
Mark?
it's just
right?
Target down the street, so it's just never know who you're gonna see when. But it doesn't have the same effect on you.
You gotta love the elevator meet though, because now you're in a confined space, and you're like, do I say something? Do I not say something? You're like, Marky Mark. Let me guess.
Yeah.
You do the Funky Bunch, right? You know what I mean? Like,
well, if his kids weren't there, I may have, but his kids were there, so I respected that.
But the kids is actually better that the kids are there, because then you can say, oh my God, your kids are beautiful, and then all of a sudden you're in a conversation. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, hey, you know what I mean? He knows it's invasive, but if you're complimenting his children, then it's more like, oh, that was nice of you to say, not like. Then you should look at him and go, by the way, who are you? Like, and then make him feel, I don't know, you look familiar, but anyway, your kids are beautiful. Cool. All right. Like, it is what it.
Kind of silent in the elevator.
Oh, because usually someone who's, got multiple movies that we know, when you first meet them, you're like, oh, but I've had conversations with random people all the time, you know,
Right.
Michael Douglas, Sinbad, Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Lopez, like, you know, so, but by the time I hit certain celebrities, I was normal because I'd been on award shows. So I'm like, I'm standing next to Holly Berry and then I'm standing next to Tony Braxton. And then just, it's just like, oh, they're so-and-so. And then you're more like, are they going to be bitchy or are they going to be cool? Or is their entourage going to be bitchy or are they going to be cool, you know? And then there's some people jockey for watching celebrities jockey for a position, like who's the bigger celebrity. That's even funnier to watch. You're like, why do you both care? You're both famous. Right.
Yeah.
But
I know. I felt like that doing music videos. I never knew how the artist would be, and I would always be so nervous. But every encounter I've had with an artist on a music video, they've all been so nice, like really good. So I've had good experiences with that.
Nice. I was like, okay. Another person that this one we can talk about, right? Okay. So when Trinity was looking for a lead singer, and we were at that apartment place across the Palazzo or whatever it was called, and one of the girls who auditioned in the gym was a dancer girl, but that girl is Danny Lee. Mm-hmm. I was like, crazy. At first I said Danny Lee because one of my students was from here. I got him an agent in LA, and he went on tour. He's like, I'm on tour with Danny. I said, who's Danny Lee? And I'm looking at him like, why does she look familiar? And at first, I was like, I didn't remember her being in the gym. What I remembered was she had two other sisters, and they were in a group called Curly Fries.
Her and her older sister were in the Curly Fries group.
Curly Fries. Her
sister was doing her own CM thing.
Yeah, and then her mom used to tag me on everything they did on Facebook, and then it dawned on me that was the same girl that was coming in to audition.
Yeah, I still have little videos we did of us singing together because she ended up staying. We were seeing her every day at one point because she was pretty much going to be a part of the group, and so we was doing a lot of rehearsals and singing training, and it was, you know, unfortunately we went back to Australia and the group broke up, so, you know, but she was the one that we wanted for the group, but honestly, if anyone deserved, it's her. She was one of the most hardworking.
She was a workaholic. It was funny is that she's actually a good dancer now, but back then I was like,
she's definitely developed. Yeah,
definitely. Her game is up. Huh?
She wasn't a singer, like she could sing, but she even, you know, told us herself, like she was at the beginning stages, so she had a lot of work to do on her voice. She had the full tone and everything, but she wasn't an experienced singer. So when we were working with, remember Angie and what's Angie's sister's name? Well, the two of them were giving us all the vocal lessons.
Oh, right.
So and I honestly, but I always knew that she would blow up for how hard she works, and you know their mom. Oh yeah,
she put in the time, big time, and then it paid off.
Yeah, I went to an August Alsina concert a few years ago, and the older sister was his backup dancer, and so I think she's been in the industry too, like backup dancing for a lot of people.
It's such
and
a
funny enough, world. You know, Halle and Chloe, Beyonce's.
I just saw those two. I saw their albums on iTunes.
They were the other two Harvey contacted and spoke to their manager at that time because we found them online. I think they were 13 at the time.
You know how many near misses we've had? Danny Lee, those Chloe sisters. The other one was
Tinashe. We hit up Tinashe at that point too.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, so Tinashe.
Harvey spoke to Tinashe's manager, and his manager said that they won't be signing anything under a $2 million deal or something. And she got it.
I know who the other one was. It was Jessica Sanchez, and then she took second on American Idol.
American Idol.
Right.
It was like everyone we contacted.
Right. Actually, it was like, bye, and it was like, you're like,
it's got talent, you know. I want to know what happened to the girl, the Shelly girl.
Was that the one? Was that the is that the voodoo one? I want to call it the creepy. Yeah, it's a little.
When all the creepy stuff happened to Hannah,
yeah, I remember that.
I think what made Hannah just not want to do this anymore. It really spooked her out.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of the scariest encounters I've ever had.
That was crazy. I mean, I just remember you calling me, and then I remember it was the next day. And then
You messaged us at 3 a.m. in the morning, randomly, the night that all the crazy stuff was
That's
happening.
right. Yeah.
Hannah was calling out for you. Hannah, for some reason,
Mhm.
through that time, was like, I need Moet. I need Moet here. And you just messaged us. And it was 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's crazy.
This day, I still get chills when I think of that story because it doesn't even sound believable. Only Hannah and I experienced that. So her and I know what we saw and what we felt, but telling it to people, it kind of seems like, whatever.
Not these days. It's not these days. I mean, and then when was it the next day that I came, and then that girl, she was there rolling around on the floor or something, and then she walked up to me, or kind of came next to me because I was just kind of feeling her out, and she asked me if I could read people.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You remember that? She asked me, like, you can read people, huh? And I said, yes. And she says, well, what do you read? And I go, I don't know if you brought it here or it follows you here, but it's here because of you. And she was like, and then she was gone.
Angie and her sister the same. They came the next day, didn't say anything to us, walked into Harvey's apartment and just started touching the light switches, looking around, creeped out. And they just looked at Shelley and they said, you know that we know.
Right.
And Hannah and I were like, no way.
Yep.
Put us in a circle, holding our hands, and was like, as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm telling you, I had never
real spirits.
I had never
ritual craziness. Yeah.
And then Shelley kind of told Hannah and I about the stuff in the industry, and that's when I really started looking into it and researching it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a private conversation. But I know exactly what you're talking about because I have that conversation a lot with a couple people, and it is nothing short of factual. What goes on?
I've been researching for years.
Yeah, and the newest one that's I could probably slightly touch on that is prevalent in the media. Well, two things that are prevalent in the media now is the rise of the awareness of the pedophilia in this country is massive. Second one is when somebody brought this up to me in a meeting about things that people do with children who have disappeared, right?
You might speak outside of this because I
was like, I'll leave that one alone right now, and I just go do research, and I did, and I was like,
Honestly, it was another reason why I kind of got turned off music a little bit, and just being so heavily in the industry, a lot of things scared me, and I was just like, so I want to dabble in that world that deep, you almost just want to ride a certain level
and stay there, and then not really
for me to reach here, even though here sounds amazing, but here comes with a lot of a lot of this. So I've been in, it's not that we can personally do anything about it, but I feel being educated on it and just aware to a certain point.
You have to see it coming.
Yeah.
You have to see it coming. That's one. Two, what do you do when it does present itself? Three, walking away from it without repercussions of any sort, because people have vendettas big in Hollywood, all kinds of, about all kinds of weird stuff. And you just don't know where that goes. So just smile, walk away, and excuse yourself, whatever you got to do. But I've done it where I'm like, and I've never been a celebrity, but I've been around enough celebrities to be in that space and to just literally go, I got to go now.
You feel it. I mean, you can feel when things don't feel right. But
there's a lot of good people, but there's a lot of craziness that I don't even want to know. I just don't want to know.
I just believe you can't be at a certain level of success without being involved somehow. That's my
comedians talk about it all the time. Dave Chappelle is like, you don't know what it's like when, fame meets corporate interest. And, you know what I mean? To a guy like Dave Chappelle. I mean, even Prince, they tried to take his name from him and his creativity. He's Prince.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people thought Prince was weird because he wrote the word slave on his face. But no one knew the story. So they just were like, he's weird. He's an eccentric. He just wrote slave on his face. We don't know why. There was a reason why he did that.
There are signs everywhere. And I mean, it is becoming more out in the open now. I mean, there are other people that just, it sounds so extreme that they just, that sounds crazy, it's not true. But a lot of people are waking up to what's really going on.
But that's the art of war. It's hiding in plain sight. It's in your face.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, it's always in your face. It's just so out of, there's no way that is real because it's that outlandish. You're like,
I just think there's too many facts now. There's too many coincidences. There's too much information for it not to be somewhat real.
What's crazy is to find out all the people who have for years been basically having, and I'm not even talking about that like satanic stuff. It's more like I watched the Epstein thing, you know, and I was like, and it's not just Epstein. There's all the people who are connected to him that could have possibly been involved in all that madness. And you're like, damn, like, how does that person, but they're all elite, right? So if they're a singer or they're a businessman, when they get to the levels, that's all of a sudden like this, boom, we're in the same club, right?
Yeah. One of the actors that committed suicide wrote a list of the people involved with Epstein and released it. And some of the celebrities on there, you would be like, what? And it's hard to put like that face to do something like that or involving someone, but honestly, it's anything.
Like, stay away from all that. You could be just as successful and just kind of ride in the space.
Mind your
all that, like you said, it comes with repercussions. It comes with stuff you don't need, you know? So like, I just focus on the positive because because I'm in the TV world again, and now I'm in radio world and doing all kinds of other things. It happens everywhere. You know what I mean? Like the bigger you get, the more stuff just comes floating around your face, you know? And then the tough part is
tempting because it sounds amazing.
well, because you're like in a room with you're the person that you idolize for your whole career, trying to make it and work as hard as they can. And you're like right there. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's this like other law you need to abide by. And you're like, really? Like, you know, is that what it is? Yeah.
I just don't know if it's worth being a slave for the rest of your life or.
Not for me, it's not.
No.
I'd rather be rich under the radar and not worry about all that other madness.
I just don't think it comes, you know, it just happens randomly. Oh, you want this, you got to do this. I think that, you know, you get slowly built up and then you slowly get to that level and you've tasted this and you've tasted that. And then all of a sudden you have that choice whether you want to let everything go or conform.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I get it. It's hard, but I don't know. It's just very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Are we allowed to be speaking about this?
Everybody is talking about this. That's the thing.
Right?
The good thing about podcasts, too, is no matter what audience you have. I mean, they talk about this on the Breakfast Club. They talk about it on. The only difference is Charlemagne is calling people out on the show. You know what I mean?
I haven't watched it in a while. I used to watch that all the time.
Dude, Charlemagne called out Diddy on the show. You're a little sweet, right? Or whatever he said. Because there's a video of Diddy drunk and he's got a little feminine during the interview on camera and the rapper
oh, really?
all sideways. Yeah, and I was like, so he just called him out on the show. And then Diddy comes to the show and he was like, well, come on, you know, Diddy, you know. And Diddy's like, what you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, you know, but it was like a rumor or whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, but people talk about it in general like we talk about it. Joe Rogan, all those cats, Van Lathan, you name it, all the podcasts, Gary Owen, they'll bring stuff up, but they do like what I'm doing. We kind of like surface talk about it. We're not name dropping. We're just talking about an entity that we know exists because people keep talking about it, right? Because how do you talk about it all day long and it doesn't exist at some point?
Well, they're saying like Corona is like a big cover up for the stuff they're trying to clean up in Hollywood.
I wouldn't doubt that.
The pedophilia.
Name 10 celebrities who've actually voiced anything during this pandemic.
Yep.
Other than talk show hosts who are on every night because they have to be. No one's, even the George Floyd thing, no celebrities came out and like said, there's a couple basketball players, whatever. But for all the people in Hollywood who got big mouths, they didn't say nothing.
No.
No.
Yeah, I've been reading so much stuff, and I mean, a lot of it makes sense, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Literally crazy.
So, I mean, the conspiracy, could be. I mean, I always tell my other friend, I go, how deep do you want to go? Because she's obsessed with it. And I go, look, obsession is just as bad because you might find something that you don't want to find, and then now you're faced with finding it. You know what I mean? So if you dig deep down the rabbit hole further, you might end up staying down there. You know?
There was a point where I was researching it too much a few years ago, and I said, Stephanie, you have to stop. Because it was affecting me too, because it was just one thing after another and shocking things. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, it's consuming me. I have to, I even started telling my dad a little bit, and my dad's like, you know what, Stephanie? He's like, ignorance is bliss. He was like, I don't want to know.
Oh, you don't know how that term is golden these days. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Because
better to not know.
Well, you can know it, but it's like, what can I do about it? You know what I mean? Literally nothing. All you can do is know. And what do you do with this information? You're aware, okay, but nothing I can do about it. You don't want to make
yourself paranoid, though. So that's out of
and then you're afraid. And if you wanted to do something about it, you're afraid to because I'm not powerful.
And you're still in this business, so the sharks are still in this business, and so are you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to deal with. Now, I always think it's good to know. Just like the first thing I ever said to the three of you girls was like, "Look, all this crap that goes on in LA, they're gonna cart you around like 3 pieces of meat. Period. Yep. So if you're not doing no work past 6 o'clock, go home because it ain't.
Yeah, you always told me no business happens after 6 o'clock. That was the first thing you said to me.
Right.
I would always meet everyone out after 6 o'clock at a restaurant or
a bar. It's a party. It's this and that's
an event. This and that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And never ever worked out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you're healthy and alive and don't have COVID. And
I tested last week. I'm good.
Both of you. I know he's in there somewhere. No COVID. Wash your hands. Okay. Right.
Like, stay upstairs while I'm doing this.
But I mean, I hope everything goes back to something somewhat normal so that everyone can do what you're doing, is continuing to work and continuing to build your craft and get better at whatever you're doing,
I've been fortunate enough to be, because I've had a lot of editing work during Corona and even shooting. So that's kept me really busy. So I've even been able to perfect that craft because nothing else is going on. So I just spend my time editing, learning new things because I always stood by, knowledge is power. So I love in front of the camera, but if I can learn to edit my own things, film my own things, the more you know how to do, I can create websites now. I don't have to wait on anyone for anything. I can do everything myself, so that's power. Absolutely. I don't have to wait for the photographer to a month later hand me my pictures. If I work with a photographer now, I'll say, I'll work with you if you give me all the raw files after it, so I have all my pictures and then I can edit it and you can edit it, and I won't put anything out unless you approve, but at least I have those pictures and it's not a waste of my time. Right. Same as video, same as anything, so it's always good to keep learning and doing things. Because people are like, oh, you're behind the camera now, you're not doing your acting or your modeling anymore. It's like, no, you can do both.
Talk to any big actor. I mean, Brad Pitt is producing movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's in the front of the camera and behind it. So is Tom Cruise. So is Adam Sandler. People are doing both. You could do both. Be on both sides of the camera, both sides of writing. Huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not 21. So yeah, of course. So you have to think long term too, like what's gonna be longer lasting. Yeah. Bigger
money and work less, but just do projects that you like.
That you love. Yeah.
We would like to thank Stephanie Murone for stopping by the Tim Stevenson Show podcast. Please stay healthy. Please, do your thing. Keep making moves and keep honing in that craft and stay away from all the crazy people in Hollywood because they're still crazy. I know.
They will always be crazy.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Wake up. It's the Tim Stevenson Show.